Broadcasting from 88.3 WXUT Toledo Studio, this is your Saturday morning weekly news update. It is 7:45 in the morning, and today is November 6th. I'm Matthew Revere, and I'll be taking over for this week. It is expected to be sunny with a high of 54 degrees and a low of 34 degrees. These stories were researched and reported by student journalists at UT10 News. Let's begin. Results of the election week are in. Almost 35,000 votes were cast in the Toledo mayoral race. Wade Kapsakavich retained his position, gaining 69% of the votes. His main opponent, Courtney Finkbeiner, who was mayor in the 90s, received 30% of the votes. 6 spots on the city council were also up for consideration. Tony Dia, father of Anthony Dia, the slain Toledo police officer, narrowly missed out, claiming 7th. The Toledo City Councilors are Kate Moline, Nick Comives, Michelle Grimm, Sir Sandra McPherson, Tiffany Preston Whitman, and George Sarantu. In the Oregon City mayoral race, incumbent Mayor Michael Safarian won 62% of the votes, a write-in candidate receiving the remaining 38%. Oregon City also had 3 city council seats available. This race was close, with 4th and 5th place candidates Michael Sullivan and James Seaman only having 10 votes between them. Paul Drake III, Dennis Wallenczak, and Terrence Reeves will be the next city councilors for Oregon. Despite the tensions that come with election days, UT10's Tiara Medley reports Toledo Mayor Wade Kapsakavich was confident in the results.
The mayoral viewing party started around 7:30 p.m. with just a few attendees, but the night soon picked up and the establishment became packed with loyal supporters.
Mayor Wade had his mayoral viewing party at Ernest Brewworks, and he says this is the biggest gap we've had between candidates in 30 years.
He could see his victory was inevitable way before the night was up.
And tonight, by a record margin, Toledoans overwhelmingly voted to embrace that future and reject the past.
He had many people to thank, including his family and
organizations who supported me. Business groups, labor groups, environmental groups, and all the way down the line.
Daniel Brown Martinez is the battalion chief of the Toledo Fire and Rescue Department and stands behind the mayor full-heartedly.
He stood true to his word. He was going to increase our force, which he has. He also gave us the best contract, and we're not talking about monetarily. We're talking about things like ballistic safety vests, things that are going to protect us.
Mayor Wade couldn't be happier with the outcome of the race and looks forward to his next 4 years in office.
Continue to build on the momentum we started so that we can embrace a truly limitless future.
The mayor says that from his accomplishments last term, he is most proud of signing the regional water deal, developing properties that lay vacant for decades, and growing the size of the Toledo police force. Suicide rates among college students are on the rise across the nation. The Dean of Students, Sammy Spann, says while society continues on as if the pandemic is normal, it's not, and students are starting to realize that. Isolation and loneliness bring out these concerning moments of mental health. Spann encourages individuals to pay attention to warning signs. UToledo also has a team of experts who can help. Anaja Abdul is a student at UT who has battled with depression.
Things that have helped me and got me through my depression is just talking with family, going to go see my therapist regularly, and just trying to get out more instead of being in my own head.
If you are worried about a student, visit utoledo.edu/report to let someone know. This service has the option for full anonymity. UT also has a free and confidential counseling center, as well as access to success coaches and the Office of Student Advocacy and Support. The Lucas County Suicide Coalition is open 24/7. Another resource for those who may need someone to talk to is Hopeline. Spann wishes to emphasize that this is a stressful and turbulent time, but there are many resources available.
There's always a light at the end of the tunnel, and that things will get better if you just hang in there and try to see things through.
Moving on to sports, UT10's Caleb Gill gives us an update into the world of Rocket athletics.
After coming off a big win against Western Michigan, the Rockets played Eastern Michigan earlier this week on November 2nd. It was a cold evening from action, but both teams were up to the challenge. The first half featured a lot of offensive firepower, with each of the two offenses getting touchdowns on their opening drives. Rockets would score again on their second drive, with Kovac scorching the defense for a 67-yard touchdown, helping him to move up to 6 all-time in Toledo rushing yards. Both teams continued to be explosive before the intermission, with the Rockets taking a 28-24 lead into the half, thanks in part to a 97-yard kick return for a touchdown by running back Jaquiz Stewart. Toledo came out flat in the second half, and EMU would take advantage, outscoring the Rockets 21-8 in the third quarter alone. The Rockets would try mounting a comeback in the fourth quarter, but they simply just didn't have enough time. Eastern would take down the Rockets, winning the game 52-49. The Rockets will be traveling to Bowling Green for the Battle of I-75 next Wednesday, November 10th, to take on the BGSU Falcons. The Toledo volleyball team will be home today, November 6th, to take on the Eastern Michigan Eagles. But if you aren't able to make it out to the volleyball match tonight, try to making it out to the Huntington Center, with the Walleye holding their home opener tonight, November 6th. This will be the first time fans will be back in the arena in over a year, so make sure you're able to make it out there if you can.
And that's it for this week, and thank you for joining us today. For more news, make sure to tune in every Saturday at 7:45 a.m., and you can catch UT 10 live every Thursday at noon, or watch it on WGTE Public Media Fridays at 6:30 p.m. For 88.3 FM WXUT, I'm Matthew Revilla. Have a great day.
Rockets winning the set 25-22. The Broncos would use the momentum from the previous set to get out to a 16-5 lead that Toledo was never able to come back from. This allowed the Broncos to win the fourth set 25-18 and send the match into a fifth set where Toledo just didn't have any answers for the Broncos. Maggie King's 5 kills in the final set helped lead the way for the Broncos to come back from being down 2 sets to winning the match, ending the Rockets' 5-match win streak. Sophomore Taylor Alt was able to get a season-high 26 kills for the Rockets, but was still not enough to win the match. After losing the way they did the night before, Toledo wanted to make sure they avoided doing the same thing in the second match of the weekend. Toledo was able to take hold of the first 2 sets, winning the first set 25-21 and the second set 25-17. In a bit of deja vu though, the Broncos were able to avoid getting swept in 3 sets and won the third set 25-22. The fourth set was beginning to feel eerily similar to the match from the night before, with Western getting a 21-17 lead before Toledo began clawing back. Toledo would then go on to score the next 8 points and win the set 25-21, which allowed them to avoid going to a fifth set for a second straight night and instead win the match in 4 sets. Taylor Alt once again led the way for the Rockets with 21 kills on the night, followed up by junior Senia Alave, who had 15 kills and 15 digs. This helped to give Alave her 5th double-double of the year. The volleyball team is currently on the road at Northern Illinois to take on the Huskies, while the football team will be back home today to take on the Western Michigan Broncos. The University of Toledo has lost one of its own. Rockets alumni Sarah Tumfang lost her battle with cancer earlier this week. The Toledo Athletic Department released a statement that says in part, "We mourn the passing of former women's golfer Sarah Lang Tumfang. We extend our deepest condolences to Sarah's family, friends, teammates, and coaches. You will forever be in our hearts." She was also a Department of Communications student. Professor Dr. Jacqueline Lang said that Sarah was sweet but strong and a fighter, and I know she will be missed by many. Other former professors in the department and the golf team have expressed how much she will be missed.
And that's it for this week, and thank you for joining us today. For more news, make sure to tune in every Saturday at 7:45 a.m., and you can catch UT 10 News live every Thursday at noon, or watch it on WGTE Public Media, Fridays at 6:30 p.m. For 88.3 FM WXUT, I'm Deepa Bhujbal. Have a great day.
Five blocks. Day 2 of the weekend series featured a lot of the same. The only time Kent State led in the first set was after they scored the first point. From then on, it was all Toledo, who took hold of the first set with an 8-2 lead and went on to win it 25-18. For a second straight night, the second set was more competitive than the other 2 sets. This one was neck and neck for a while, being tied up at 18, before Toledo pulled away at the end, winning the set 25-20. Hoping to avoid getting swept again, Kent State was able to get 11-9 lead in the third set. This was until Toledo scored the next 6 points. With the Rockets up 15-11, there was hardly any doubt of the Rockets completing the sweep. Toledo did accomplish a sweep with a score of 25-16 in the third set. Sophomore Taylor All had 11 kills, while junior Olivia Vance got 10 kills on the night. Women's soccer will be back home this Sunday to take on the Ball State Cardinals. Also, make sure to come out to the Rockets football homecoming game this Saturday, where the Rockets will be taking on the Northern Illinois Huskies.
And that's it for this week, and thank you for joining us today. For more news, make sure to tune in every Saturday at 7:45 a.m., and you can catch UT10 News live every Thursday at noon, or watch it on WGTE Public Media, Fridays at 6:30 p.m. For 88.3 FM WXUT, I'm Deepa Bhujbal. Have a great day.
Their first MAC game last Thursday against Northern Illinois, the Rockets came into Sunday's game hoping to start MAC play with 2 wins. In doing so, this required a strong performance from Emma Batorwick, who did not allow a single one of Western's shots on the goal. This is now Batorwick's 6th shutout of the season. Sophomores Ellie Poole and Grace Tursky each scored a goal for the Rockets, with Tursky getting one in the 37th minute and Poole getting one almost immediately after halftime in the 46th minute. The Rockets would go on to beat the Broncos 2-0. Freshman McKenna Schultz also played a major role in the Rockets getting 2 shutouts this weekend, which allowed her to be named MAC Defensive Player of the Week.
And that's it for this week, and thank you for joining us today. For more news, make sure to tune in every Saturday at 7:45 a.m., and you can catch UT10 News live every Thursday at noon, or watch it on WGTE Public Media, Fridays at 6:30 p.m. For 88.3 FM WXUT, I'm Deepa Bhujbal. Have a great day.